Thank you very much. Thanks, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Bill, and thank you to the Boeing Company for being the sponsor today. We do really enjoy a great relationship with the Boeing Company, and I'll mention a few things about that in a minute. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be here today. I've got about 23 pages of notes to share with you, so if somebody could please run out and get Gary Colvis a rum and coke so he could settle down, we'll be all set. I decided I wasn't going to pick on Rich Rudman this year, and so Gary's my target. You've met a lot of elected officials. I wanted the chance to introduce Randy Corman, who wasn't here during introductions, from the City Council. Randy. Randy's been on the council almost as long as the Boeing Company's been here in Renton, so we're glad you're here today. And you already heard, Julia Patterson was introduced a couple minutes ago. We can't forget the fact that she represented this district on the King County Council for a long time, and Julia has been very special to the Renton community. Thank you for being here, Julia. I also want to mention Lisa Jensen, who also serves on the Valley Commissioners. Lisa is a little bit, she has a difficult time with her geography. She's on the City Council in Newcastle, but she knows darn well she lives in North Renton. She just hasn't been able to admit that. So Lisa, thanks for being here. And the last, I definitely want to mention that somebody who everybody knows and has worked with for a long time, who served on the City Council for a long time, is here today, King Parker. King right in the back over there. So if the past couple of months is any indicator, 2014 is going to be a great year. First, there's the Seahawks. You've heard of the Seahawks, right? While Seattle Mayor Ed Murray is somewhat reluctant to admit that Renton is the true home of the Seattle Seahawks, there's no question in our minds. Our city remained prominent in the spotlight for 14 months as our team battled its way to become Super Bowl champs. I really can't think of anything that has ever generated more excitement in this region than the great performance by the Seahawks, and we certainly enjoyed a fair amount of that excitement here in Renton. And how about Boeing? Boeing has been a community icon in Renton for generations. Thousands of residents have either been employed or have a family member still working at the Boeing Company. We continually brag that every 737 flying around the world made its maiden flight from the Renton Municipal Airport. It's amazing to think that effective this month, they're up to 42 planes a month. Great job, it's just amazing. Boeing and the Seahawks, along with a number of other great companies, have really helped this community survive the Great Recession. News that the 77X and the manufacturing of composite wings will remain in this region is really a very big thing. It equates into thousands of family wage jobs in the region for many years to come. The good news is that the economy does continue to improve. And yet it's important that we recognize that many people remain unemployed or underemployed and are struggling to make ends meet each month. The same is true for many small businesses. The improving economy has not reached everybody. As I've reported to you over the past several years, the city has had to change the way we do business in order to continue providing quality services to all of our citizens. Most of you in the business community have had to do the very same thing. Despite the gained efficiencies and cuts in personnel and budgets, we will continue to face the financial deficit in future years. The cost of providing city services continues to increase each year at a pace that exceeds our income. It's critical that we develop a sustainable fiscal strategy for the city. As we work on our upcoming two-year budget cycle, we will be exploring various revenue options with the City Council and this community to address projected deficits in the upcoming years. So this time I want to take a few moments to share with you some of the basic services we provide every day in the community. Well over half of our budget goes to public safety. When there has been an accident or a fire, or a loved one can't breathe, the public understandably wants us there as soon as possible. Last year, in addition to responding to fires and other calls, The Renton Fire and Emergency Services responded to more than 10,500 aid calls. This past month, during Renton Heart Month, our firefighters once again provided free blood sugar and blood pressure screenings for nearly 6,000 residents. They worked with the school district this year and were able to identify 84 children with high blood pressure and 16 children with high blood sugar levels. So that early detection is very, very important for their long-term health. Every day, citizens expect our police officers to go after all the bad guys and to keep the community safe. Our officers respond to burglaries and family fights. They deal with the mentally ill, and they mediate all of the challenging issues we experience in this complex society. Last year, our police officers responded to nearly 68,000 911 calls for service and made nearly 2,000 arrests. Our Public Works Department, this is an important department. They manage 265 miles of city roads, and our utility staff makes sure that nearly 7 million gallons of clean water arrives each day when you guys turn on the tap. They also make sure that the dirty water disappears when you push the other levers. Our Community Service Department's very, very busy. They oversee our parks, 13 miles of trails, the golf course, the aquatic center, senior center, the recreation center and programs that we provide, human services, and all of our facilities. They maintain our 33 public parks, about 1,200 acres of open spaces, and they manage all of the special events that we sponsor in the city, including Renton River Days, 4th of July Festival, Farmers Market, and other events that you get to enjoy throughout the year. Over 320,000 people visited the Maplewood Golf Course last year. And I would just want to take a second to brag about that a little bit. We have one of the only courses that are operated by cities in this region that is self-sustaining and remains, it operates in the black. And that's a good thing. And so we're very proud of our staff at the golf course. Nearly 75,000 people used the aquatic center last year, while over 750,000 people visited Jean Coulon Park. Our development services staff, and a few of them are here today, they review all the construction projects in the city, issue tons of permits, and they're responsible to inspect all these projects throughout the construction process. So these and services, including our HR department, finance, IT, city attorney, and city clerk, have accomplished a lot of work despite the fact that we have a 15% reduction in our workforce. But rather than dwelling on the impacts of staff reductions and reduced budgets, our department heads and employees have continued to find new ways of doing business while working towards making Renton the Nordstrom of local government. It became our goal over the past several years to do everything possible to provide quality service for our residents and our businesses. To help achieve this goal, especially with increasing workloads due to the staff cuts, we felt it was important to make sure that we support a workplace culture where employees feel appreciated and inspired to provide quality service. We started by evaluating the leadership style and competence of our management team, from the top down to the bottom. This resulted in some reorganizations, consolidation of divisions, and a few changes in key management positions. And I have to admit that the process was painful at times. The important message, though, that I want to convey to you is that we have made huge improvements in our work environment and the service that we provide to the public. It's very gratifying to receive comments, letters, and emails of praise for the employees who are going the extra mile for our citizens. I want to share with you a few examples where our employees have gone that extra mile. Officer Sean Tierney responded to a strong armed robbery at the Fred Meyer store where an elderly woman's purse had been stolen from the shopping cart. The victim and her husband were understandably upset and concerned. Instead of taking a routine report and just moving on to the next call, Officer Tierney personally contacted the financial institutions and advised them that the victim's credit cards had been stolen. Then when he realized that the victim's keys had also been stolen, he was concerned that they could become potential victims of another crime. So he took the initiative to accompany the couple back to their house, help them remove the locks from their doors, took them to the hardware store to purchase new locks and keys, and then returned to install them. And this is just a great example of going that extra mile. Yes, please. Sean Tierney's with us today. Sean, stand up. I want people to get to see you. I want to emphasize this is not an isolated case for Sean, and it's not an isolated case of only Sean, but this is a culture that we're really trying to celebrate and to support all we can. Sean's peers voted him Officer of the Year for the way he performs his duties every day. So Sean, thank you. Most of you in the room know Bonnie Rarisich. You should. She's been with the city for almost 41 years. Bonnie started her career with the city's Recreation Division in 1972. Through the years, her contributions to the city and our community are immeasurable. She was instrumental in starting several key programs and ensuring their continued success. Bonnie's legacy to the city and the community include the Special Recreation Social Program, the Special Olympics, indoor playground, preschool programs, athletic programs, the volunteer program, the city celebration trailer, and all of our special events programs. And she has been instrumental in raising a lot of money for scholarships that resulted in the ability for us to provide opportunities for many youth and adults who could otherwise not afford to participate in programs. Every year, as part of the One Night Count program that we participate in, when we go out to count the number of homeless residents in the city, Bonnie comes in at midnight to cook food for the volunteers. She also helps connect the homeless with social service organizations so they can get help. This kind of just signifies the type of people that we're blessed to have. Bonnie, every day, focuses on the way to better serve the public. Bonnie, stand up and to be recognized. And I have one more example that I want to share with you. One of our residents from the Highlands called, and they had a water pipe break in their front yard. The broken pipe was devastating to them because it happened to be before their out-of-town guests were to arrive for a planned family reunion, and they couldn't get a plumber out there to take care of the problem in time. So they were in a panic. George Stahl and Dan Grant from our Public Works Division located the break, and they found a way to temporarily fix the problem so that the reunion could proceed as planned. I can't tell you how gratified these homeowners were that they went the extra mile on their behalf. George, stand up and take a bow. Creating a culture of providing quality service happens only when you have a committed leadership team. I owe a great deal of thanks to each and every one of our dedicated department administrators who have truly embraced the challenge of improved service to the public during very difficult times. I can't say enough about this group of people. I want you to stand up and be recognized. Ewan, was that a message? You didn't stand up. Now you have to stand up. The cultural change at City Hall is something I hope will be sustainable for years to come. And we know that there's still room for improvement, which brings me to my key goal for this year. And that is for Renton to become the best city in King County. Each department head has made a commitment to work towards this goal. We want to be a city known for excellence in customer service. A city that finds solutions to everyday challenges facing our citizens. A city where we go beyond commonly accepted boundaries of service, innovation, and performance, where we are constantly pushing the envelope when it comes to the way we do business. We want to be a city where our management team provides a vision and support to our valued employees and leads by example. We want to be a city that's inclusive and responsive to all of our citizens. I want to share just a few examples of things that we've been able to achieve to date. Despite the lack of any kind of money, and you know we haven't had a whole lot of money lately, our Community Services Department found a way to construct a new accessible playground adjacent to the Meadow Crest Early Learning Center up in the Highlands. This all-inclusive playground offers special amenities to encourage physical activity for children of all ages and abilities. Those with special needs, diverse interests and abilities, and physical or mental challenges. This playground will serve many children in our community for years to come, and would not have been possible without the creative partnership between the City of Renton and the Renton School District, and the generous financial contributions from local service organizations, the local business community, as well as private donations. We're going to have a special ribbon cutting event on May 17th, and I hope you can all join us. This is a wonderful playground. To give you an idea of the depth of this partnership, I would really like everyone who doesn't have a fork in their hand, who either made a personal donation or is affiliated with a company, organization, or other entity that has helped make this playground a reality. I'd like you to stand up. Come on, Valley Medical. Yeah, there's some shy people here, but there are very few people in this room that haven't been a part of this partnership, and it makes a big difference. To help address the homelessness crisis, we successfully converted a portion of our former jail at City Hall into the Center of Hope, a welcoming day center for homeless women and children. We partnered with local churches whose volunteers operate the center and provide a safe environment where women and children can begin to rebuild their lives. This shelter provides women with the opportunity to access counseling, training, and other services needed in order for them to become independent. This program is making a huge difference, and we have success stories where lives have been changed forever. One small example involves a mother and her 5 children who were unable to find housing. The Center of Hope took them in and gave them shelter for a number of months. With the help of volunteers and other partners, the center helped the kids stay in school and also helped the family to find housing. This family is now safe and healthy, and they're moving towards a much better future. I want to recognize 2 very special people, and that's Linda Smith and Maggie Breen, who have worked tirelessly with our staff to make this center a reality. Linda and Maggie, please stand up and be recognized. With the loss of federal funding that used to provide the school resource officers, our police department developed a new program to help fill a void and address security issues at all of our schools. We established the Adopt a School program where police officers routinely spend time at the schools in their districts during their shift, building relationships with school staff and with students. This program has been proven to be very popular with students, parents, and with school staff. Our police department, in partnership with our other departments, has continued to address criminal activity in our community with a goal to solve the problems impacting our citizens. One recent example involves a local bar that has had over 200 calls for police service over the past 2 years. These calls for service included fights and even gunfire. So you can imagine the danger posed to residents living near this type of an establishment. When efforts failed to get the liquor licenses revoked by the state, our staff came together and worked with the City Council to adopt new ordinances. We now have tools to cite the actual property owners of these facilities, and they face criminal liability for the continued activity. We also worked with the council to rework our business licenses where we can now revoke the licenses of establishments that pose a public safety concern to the community. So one by one, we're making great progress in resolving these issues. In addition to focus on public safety, we have made some critical investments in our infrastructure. The last few years, we have been successful in obtaining over $70 million in state and federal grants to improve our local roadways. The most visible project has been the redevelopment of the Rainier Avenue corridor. We celebrated the completion of this project last December on budget and ahead of time. This is a major gateway to our city and for many of the local businesses. The project not only provides more transit mobility and safety for cars and pedestrians, But new landscaping and street lighting has greatly enhanced the overall appearance of this major roadway that comes through our city. We recently received a $4.5 million grant that will enable us to replace the deteriorating roadway on Logan, which goes past the Renton Stadium up to the Boeing Company and to the landing. So we're very excited to be able to get that completed. Another major investment in infrastructure is the construction of two main runways at the Renton Municipal Airport. The taxiway was originally built in 1943 and was in critical need of upgrades and rehabilitation. This nearly $10 million project is funded through a 90% grant from the Federal Aviation Administration. It's critical to maintaining Renton as a launch site for the Boeing 737 aircraft and to support the growth in general aviation. We continue to look for ways to improve service and to save money. In early 2012, the City of Renton began installing radio transmitters on water meters throughout the city as a way to improve efficiency and provide early detection of water leaks from the city's 17,500 water users. Since the installation of these meters, we found more than 600 water leaks, 200 of them that were significant and would have cost the property owners a lot of money if it hadn't been detected. Another project that improves safety and service in the community and also saves money is the replacement of nearly 4,000 streetlights with energy-efficient LED lighting throughout our city. These new lights significantly reduce the city's electricity use and provide much better lighting at the same time. We're saving the city an estimated $300,000 a year in electricity and operational costs. Last year, we talked about the changing demographics and growing diversity of the Puget Sound region. And as you know, Renton's diversity has grown significantly in the last 10 years. Since 2008, it has been my priority for Renton to be an all-inclusive city that provides opportunities, access, and services to all of our citizens. And this continues to be a very high priority of the City Council. We created a network of community liaisons representing diverse community groups to serve as a link to the city. With their help, we have been very successful in connecting different ethnic groups with the programs and services we offer while providing them with vital information and resources. Last year, we provided learning opportunities on race for all of our employees by facilitating training workshops. We also offered free access for employees and management to attend a very informative exhibit at the Seattle Center, which was titled, "Race, Are We So Different?" I want to share with you some of the accomplishments in serving our diverse population. We've distributed emergency preparedness kits to our community liaisons and trained them so they can help diverse communities to be better prepared for emergencies. For several years, our firefighters have successfully provided thousands of free blood sugar and blood pressure screenings to our diverse communities. We've joined other South King County cities in launching a program called ICANN, I-C-A-N-N, a collaborative effort aimed at reducing the prevalence of obesity in kids and families. As I mentioned earlier, we've worked with the Center of Hope to address homelessness in our community, and we continue to provide free summer lunches to children from non-English speaking and low-income families. We've appointed members from our community liaison group to serve on key citizen task force, and we continue to encourage and support culturally diverse celebrations in the form of festivals and parades throughout the city. We've made a lot of progress, and we're pleased to have the opportunity to present our cultural diversity program at the upcoming Governing for Racial Equity Conference, which will be held in a couple of weeks in Portland. And you may have read this already, but we are very excited that the City of Renton was awarded first place for the 2004 City Diversity Award this week by the National League of Cities and the National Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials. Council President Person, thank you. Council President Person was able to travel back to Washington, D.C. to accept this award on behalf of Renton, and we're really proud of that. So, at this time, I just want our PowerPoint operator to stand up for a second. I just have to give Preeti Sridhar, who works, she does so many things in our office. I can't even begin to mention them all, but she has been clearly instrumental in keeping us on task and focused in terms of our efforts to address culture and diversity issues in our city. And so Preeti, thank you very, very much. So one of my priorities this year is to continue to build on these accomplishments and address the issues of social justice in our community. We will continue to seek solutions to homelessness in our community and the challenges faced by low-income senior population. We will work to end human trafficking in Renton, which has become a huge problem across the country. We're committed to continue our efforts of understanding and addressing the needs of the diverse communities. As part of this commitment, we have engaged Benita Horn, who is a highly respected authority in this region on cultural diversity and social equity, to help us with our initiatives in all of these efforts. Benita has over 20 years of experience specializing in leadership and team development, inclusion, and workplace effectiveness, and she's worked as the director of the Anti-Racism Training Institute Northwest, one of 4 institutes nationally that are committed to creating communities of racial and social justice. And best of all, she and her family live in Renton. Benita is here with us today. Benita, please stand up so people know who you are. So I want to say just a few things about the environment and climate change. Throughout the country, scientists no longer debate whether climate change is occurring, but wonder how greatly it will be impacted. Every level of government is making this a priority at this time. And that begs the question, can local government make an impact? We think it can, and we have had some significant successes here in Renton. In 2011, we launched Renton's Green Team, which was made up of several city employees, to help shepherd the city's clean energy goals and spur staff innovations. Working in partnership with Puget Sound Energy and the Home Energy Report, we saved over $1 million in energy costs for our residents. And I mentioned earlier, we also converted our streetlights to LED, which with a significant savings in both energy and money. We have built electric vehicle charging infrastructure around the city. And all of the waste management trucks, or our waste management friends back here, all of those trucks are now powered by compressed natural gas. Our recycling program is something we're very proud of. It's among one of the most progressive in the country, and this is kind of an interesting statistic. Each year, we are diverting 25,000 tons of waste from the landfill. And if you do your math, that's about 50 million pounds of stuff that's not going to the landfill. So we're pretty proud of that. I want to shift gears and talk a little bit about business development in our community. On the automotive front, we're really excited to see new dealerships open up in Renton. Car Pros, which you see on TV almost every night, purchased the former Lincoln Mercury dealership at South 7th and Rainier, and we'll be opening a new Hyundai dealership at that location. This is in addition to several other dealerships that they've already opened here in Renton. CarMax, which is a large national used car franchise, is scheduled to open its dealership at the site of the old cinema theaters down on East Valley. The Washington State Auto Dealers Association moved into its new headquarters down on Grady Way. This really, hopefully you've seen it, this contemporary 10,000 square foot building is the first ever association-owned headquarters in the 93-year history of the organization. And we're very pleased they decided Renton was the place to be located. The Landing has reached 90% occupancy, and they're working really hard to lease the final space that's available. And sorry, I can't tell you who is on the drawing board right now because we're sworn to secrecy. But you'll be happy when they arrive. Another area where there's a lot of activity taking place is along Lake Washington Boulevard. There are 2 proposals for the land that's vacant land that's situated right across the street from the southern portion of Gene Coulon Park. And the most active project right now is a proposal at Southport. That's where the Bristol apartments are, just on the south end of Coulon Park between the park and the Boeing Company, where there are plans to build a very nice 12-story, four-star hotel right on the waterfront with a 30,000 square foot convention center. So stay tuned. We're having discussions with them almost on a daily basis. In the Sunset area of the Highlands, work continues to move forward on the construction of a new library along with a new 111-unit market-rate apartment complex. This is the first phase of a comprehensive effort to build new housing options in the area to serve all income levels. It replaces substandard wartime housing units for low-income families with quality housing, mixed in with market-rate housing. The overall effort under the direction of the Renton Housing Authority will actually increase the number of affordable housing units in the area by 2.5 times. This redevelopment plan includes a future nearly 4-acre neighborhood park for all the residents to enjoy. And work will begin soon on the construction of a $2 million pedestrian walkway that will link the Sunset community with the landing under 405. This public-private partnership in the Sunset area will result in improving the quality of life for residents of this community and will certainly be a catalyst for more private investments. The city was awarded the 2013 Governor's Smart Communities Award for this effort. So, Housing Authority people here, stand up and be recognized. We're our Housing Authority. Revitalization of the downtown core continues to be a council priority, and we're working with local property owners, businesses, the chamber, residents, and potential developers to move forward on creating a district that becomes a destination location. We envision additional multifamily housing opportunities along with more restaurants, coffee shops, bars, small retail outlets. And we want to create a vibrant, pedestrian-friendly atmosphere where outdoor dining and more activities are planned in the downtown throughout the year. The property that formerly included the Jet City Espresso over at 2nd and Main, that's been purchased by a Bellevue company, and they plan to build one of those multi-story apartment complexes with retail on the main floor. And the former Renton Western Wear building has been sold, and that's going to house a high-end paper products company. They're going to locate their corporate headquarters on the mezzanine level of that building, and there are plans for possibly a brew pub or restaurant for the main floor. So, a lot of things are happening in our community. And in closing, I want you to know that the City Council and I and all of our very dedicated employees are committed to providing quality, cost-effective government services for all of our residents and businesses. The state of the city is really strong, and I feel very confident that we're going to succeed in making Renton the best city in King County. Thank you very much.